What's up everybody, this is Chthonian Alliance here, bringing you with a brand new video, and today we're going to be discussing the new OTS 9 cards that are coming out, well, in OTS 9. Redundant, sentence is redundant, so let's just jump right into it. This actually came out 24 hours before the ban list, I think about around that time, and it kind of just went under the radar, but this is actually kind of one of the best, I feel, OTS packs we've ever gotten in a long time. Since, I think, 4, because that was actually tailor-made to competitive players. This one is equally so. So let's just jump right into it. So the ultimate rares, we have Elemental Hero Stratos, Trickstar Lycaris, and Sky Striker Ace Shizuku. Elemental Hero Stratos is obviously going to be one of those fantastic cards because it is such a legendary card. Everyone loves this card, and it only makes sense that after bringing it back to Luon on the ban list, it deserves the ultimate rare status. I think this is probably going to be the more coveted version of Stratos out there, next to the jump promo and the I think, what is it called, the common promo that's like in one of the circuits. So it's really good. Next one we have Trickstar Lycaris. I personally don't like this choice. Specifically, if we're going to go with the Trickstar Ultimate Rare, I think it would have been fitting to be Candina or Reincarnation, because those two cards are far more noticeable in the archetype. You see those cards more. Even Light Stage is probably worth it more than Lycaris, in my opinion. But Lycaris is here. It's going to be one of the cheaper Ultimate Rares, I think. People are still going to want this card because Trickstar is still a relatively decent deck. But I think Candina or Light Stage or Reincarnation would have been better. So that's just my personal take on that one. And the third card is Sky Striker Ace Shizuku. I'm going to call it now. Hayate is going to be the ultimate rare in OTS 9 or OTS 10 whenever they decide to do that, if they decide to do that. But this makes absolute sense because we had Kagari as an ultimate rare in the last pack, so we can only assume that the other Sky Striker Link monsters are just going to receive ultimate rare printings from this point forward. On to the super rares. There's actually quite a few super rares that are kind of interesting. I think all of these are really good cards. They're really specifically tailor-made for the competitive audience. There are two here that are kind of questionable that I'll explain why they're here, but let's just jump right into it. So the first card we have here is Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar just came back off the ban list recently, so it makes sense to have this as a reprint. The commons were starting to get fairly expensive, anywhere from $2 to $3 for near-mint copies, and we're also going to lump in Card Destruction and Super Polymerization in this because they're both kind of in the same light. I think Super Polymerization for the secret rares were climbing $10 to $12, and the rares were coming into like $5. This does have a common branding, but other than that, it's good to see that it's getting a super rare reprint. This one will probably be like $5. Card Destruction, again, the super rares were starting to reach the $5 mark. The secret rares were actually starting to reach 10 to 15, and the one from Retro Pack was starting to be increasingly more expensive. So it's good to have a reprint of this card as well. Two of the cards in here that are actually the questionable cards is Galaxy Wizard and Galaxy Expedition. They've actually been trying to push this Galaxy stuff for quite some time, but the reason why these two cards are in here for the most part is just to have a more budgeted option for those cards, because Galaxy Wizard and Galaxy Expedition have not had a reprint ever since they came out way back in the like a long time ago. Galaxy Wizard and Galaxy Expedition both were reaching around $8 to $9, so having a cheaper alternative for players who want to play the Galaxy archetype is fine by me. The next card here is Thunder Dragon Matrix. This is actually kind of an interesting thing. I think mostly only play this card as a one-of, but I guess you might as well hollow out that one-of in your deck. It's pretty good. It's the only, I think, legitimately good Thunder Dragon card that is not hollow, so it makes perfect sense. Rapidocus is actually seeing competitive play, so it makes sense for that one. I think it's really good to see some of these really good, really good Link monsters that are not hollowed out to be hollow, like we saw with Underclock Taker in the previous OTS pack. So it's fairly good. Next is Sekka's Light. This card should not have been a rare in Flames of Destruction. It should have been at least a secret rare, in my personal opinion. But being a super rare is now really good for it, because now you can just play. You don't have to look at that rare, and you're running a best deck. Next is personal spoofing. Technically, this had a Starfall rarity, but no one really wanted to play that, right? So they kind of just printed it as a super rare. I kind of wish they could have bolstered something else instead of Altergeist, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm fine with it if it's going to be a super rare. So on to the commons, because I think the commons are the more interesting things in this set. So the first thing that we're going to have to talk... Oh, actually, we have one more super to talk about. We have a Mecha Family Beast token, and that actually goes in tandem with some of the cards that are in this set. Like we have some TG cards like Cyber Magician, Striker, and Rush Rhino, and Werewolf. These are actually kind of cards that are going to be used in the next set, Savage Strike, because we are getting a TG Link Monster in that set. Additionally, it also kind of alludes that we might actually receive Crystron Needle Viper as one of the OCG imports next set, if not the set after, because a Jet Synchron is here. We also just got the super rare token for it. So, number 107, Galaxy Tachyon Dragon, kind of an interesting card. I like it a lot. It's kind of neat. Being a common, it might actually end up being one of the more expensive commons in this set. So we'll just keep it at that. Instant Neospace. They're trying to push this Neospatian stuff, but realistically, Neos Connector is not going to be played in Neospacians. Well, it actually will be played in Neospacians, but Neospacians won't be meta relevant at all. So I guess if they want to push it, fine. They did Space Gift last time, but they made Space Gifts a super rare, which was kind of weird. Next is Silent Graveyard. This one is actually, if you guys don't know what this card is, it's called Forbbidden Graveyard, and it's actually been a fairly decent side deck card throughout the meta. So it's, and the reason why it got its name changed is because it doesn't have that synergy with, so that it wouldn't have that synergy with Condemned Witch, which honestly wasn't that relevant to begin with, but if you... I guess they wanted to clarify some things with it, so that's pretty good, I guess, in that way. Next, we have Fusion Substitute. Decent card. I think it has a super printing, though, so you won't really look for the commons. Imperial Order. This one is actually interesting. Imperial Order being a common means that those who could not get the Duelist Saga version way back then, about a year ago now, can now actually obtain Imperial Order and actually play it now. So now you have a more budget option for Imperial Order, which is really good because I think they were actually starting to encroach around maybe like $5, maybe $4. But it's good to have like a sense version of this card. Imperial Tombs in the Necker Valley. They just came out with a bunch of Gravekeeper support, and this card was rising and being fairly expensive for that deck. So having a cheaper alternative, I guess. Attacking on Transmigration, same reasoning. It was $5. It actually went up to about $10 at one point. And it's actually a decent trap card for Galaxy cards. It's actually not bad. So we have a few other cards here. We have Cyberdark Dragon. Kind of interesting. We have scrap. We have a bunch of scrap cards. Because we're getting, which also might allude that we're getting scrap. We're getting scrap Wyvern next set as a promo, or as a not a promo, as a TCG or OCG import, which kind of really strikes me because we still don't have everything from Link Reigns 1. I would assume that they would give us Heliopolis as well, or not Heliopolis, the Heretic Link Monster in that set, because Guard Dragons is very good, and it will synergize with that card a lot too. So we might see some more scrap. We might see some scrap Wyvern action earlier than we might intend it to be. But most of these cards are kind of necessary. Scrap Orthros is $10. Scrap Chimera, I'm not sure if there was I'm not sure if it was that expensive. But some of these cards have not been printed in a long time. Some of them haven't been reprinted ever. So it's kind of interesting to see how they're going to be played out in this. Scrap Archfiend, you're not playing that in your scrap deck. It's not that good. So anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know in the comments section down below. Tell me what you guys think they missed in this OTS pack. Tell me what you would put as an ultimate rare in the OTS packs instead. So I'll see you guys in the next video. This has been Just Lights, signing out.